the train to again.
Oh, you wanted to launch it. I let you launch it, and what happens? Get out the power chair, you. Come on. Shift.
Hey!
Come on. Shift.
Okay, so what we want you to do before I get out of the chair is 1, leave a like, and 2, subscribe if you're new to the channel.
I do.
If not,
know my dad.
Calm it, lad. Right, lad, you've got no clothes on under there. You're prattling about. Off to bed, you. Go on, bare butt boy. No, YouTube don't need to see that. Willsy, out the power chair.
we can share it.
Willow, out.
Can we share it?
Can we share it? Oh, yes, it's one of those, isn't it? Hello. Right, you know the drill. If you hear, say hello. Have I just told you, young man? Right, give me a kiss, you. Say good night. Say good night.
Bad night.
Good night. Shift your butt. Cool.
Hey, it's a bad night for me. I've got to go to school tomorrow.
I've got to go work tomorrow.
So what?
You won't say that when you're older, girl. Go on, jump off.
School's worse than work.
My sweet summer child, she has no idea.
Is
Right, young lady, what have I just asked you to do?
Like and subscribe.
Right, shift.
Look, do you want me to go upstairs?
I want you to go to
Go
bed.
onto my computer and like and subscribe the stream.
No, I want you to go shut your computer down and get into bed. Oi! Mwah, love
On
you.
Friday night, I'm watching your live stream.
You can do. I'm not streaming live on Friday. Good night.
No, but actually,
I
I'm
don't. Actually, bugger off bed now.
Look, which day do your live streams on?
School nights. Bugger off bed now.
I'm watching it now.
Willow, you'll switch your computer off and you'll go to bed, young lady.
Okay.
Go on. Good night.
I own the power chair. Like and subscribe.
Like a bloody subscribe. Hello, folks. I haven't got anything for you, dog. What, do you want to be on YouTube as well? It has been one of those days. Right, give me a second. Let me sort comments out because, like, Willow demanded she start the feed. Right, everything is looking good. Stream health is good. People are watching. I'll pop the chat out. Oz, there's no biscuits here, mate. Child exploitation, love it, Mel. Thanks, John. Right, who have we got? Max, Graham, CJ, Odin, Norville, Josh, Vector, Insane Commander, Jace, some Russian dude, Andrew, Chris, Fan, Syme, Paul, Ice Dragon, Graham, Andrew, Krista, 28, Simon, loads of you. Glad to see the struggles are the same across the pond. It's a universal thing, isn't it, with children? We're not allowed to beat them anymore. I was never like that. If my mum said bed, I went bed. You know what I mean? The dislike came as soon as the video started. Probably got sniped by you-know-who. Nah, there's a couple of bots running. I always get my first few dislikes, yeah, almost pretty immediately, which means someone's disliked me so much they have a little script running somewhere to automatically dislike my videos. That's pathetic. Oh, good brew. Needed that, actually. Right, gentle people. Sorry about being quiet this week. It's been a bit manic. The board is looking beautiful. If you haven't seen it, yeah, posted a picture of it in the terrainiacs group today. So if you go down into the description, you'll find a link to the terrainiacs group on Facebook. You don't even have to join it, I don't think, to view the pictures. But if you go have a nose, yeah, you can see a picture of the board. But I've pretty much finished construction. I've just got to seal it, texture it up. So I've got to do that tomorrow. And then it's painting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, but we have had heat waves, and my studio has been ridiculously hot. I learned woodworking. I got to work with white maple. It was beautiful. What else? Changed my mind on loads of different things. Got rid of the warping issue. What are you drinking? Is it good? It's coffee. Yes, it is. It was a great night Thursday. It was, and thanks to Jace for coming down and helping us with that. I think we need a little bit of tweaking with regards to camera locations. Probably going to have to pick up something like I think the longest you can have a USB extender cable is something like 11 meters. So I need to pick up a nice long one so we can put the camera, in a better position. We may have to look at mics, but that worked well. Jace is doing his patron thing. Thank you, buddy. Hey, Grawley. Do you find the name of the island you were wondering about? It wasn't the island, it was the town, and it was Bilatter. Yeah, I discovered, within further research, that the map I was given to build the map from wasn't the final version. They even moved names around and stuff like that. Whoever had done the version, well, Jared had done it, yeah, but it got east and west ridings the wrong way round. Okay, I don't think it was his fault. I think it was because of something Foreground had done with the development and the map and that sort of stuff. Yeah, but I almost copied it directly. Yeah, and then I saw the final version. I'll tell you what's really weird. It's also getting names of rivers, and it's like I'm looking at my map and like my rivers aren't named. When will you interview the foam board guy, the architect or something? Oh, John. John from Mashiro Models. He's busy for the next month or 6 weeks, yeah? Because he's got quite a bit on. But that sort of takes us to the tail end of the summer holidays. So that works for me. So I'm hopefully going to get down for one of those. And fingers crossed we'll have another interview in September. Have you heard of Luke Towie? Yeah, of course I've heard of Luke. He's somebody, occasionally see him on the live chats. We're YouTube buddies. How long before starting? Someone tell Sven to refresh his screen. Yeah. Thanks, CJ. Weren't you going to get another mic too? Yeah, we need to look at mics. Mics are difficult because budgets are limited, and it's really challenging when you've got a limited budget. It's really challenging to buy the right kit because I've asked for recommendations and I get that many different recommendations. It's like, right, okay, and it's like, right, buy. I mean, I dropped about £80 on a mic setup about a year or so ago, and it was absolutely awful. And so it's challenging. Crawley's been in the garden. Sharpening Viking reenactment. Nice. Are you supposed to sharpen those? Right, my kids are bouncing. Excuse me one moment. Hold your ears. Hey! I said get into bed and go to sleep. Right. What? That'll do it. So this is the castle show, right? Tits for a plane clashed into water. Problem here is the splashing. Oh God, it depends on your material, mate. And whether you want to go translucent. It's a real challenge. It's a real challenge. If you're going for solid colours, you can sculpt it. Yeah, if you're not going for solid colours, then you got to look at using sort of, what's the stuff called? Thick fishing twine, like fibre optic stuff as a substructure that you can affix your acrylic, or you cast it. It's absolutely throwing down in Walsall, is it? Therefore, work around the camp and not fight gear. Ah, right, Odin. I'm not quite interested in it being thrown down in Walsall. I'm waiting for what you call it. It's been hot lately, really sticky hot. You know what I mean? I know. All of you who live in hot countries are going to be banging on about how hot it is, but we Brits are not used to the burning ball of fire in the sky. Yeah, and our houses and our lives are not equipped, yeah, to cope with sudden rises in temperature. So I really need a downpour. What you call it? When building MDF buildings, someone had a corner magnet set for keeping them together when drying. It's a railway system, I think. Expert modelling, is it? Little yellow clamps, magnetic. They work really well. I think it's. Look for railway. I do. Tell you what. Railway modelling magnetic clamps. Proses, snap and glue magnetic clamps. Yeah, Proses by the looks of it. So Proses, snap and glue magnetic clamps. There you go, bud. That's what you're after. I've just become Google. Right, where are my comments? Where are my comments? Yeah. If Google was Mel. Can't hear nothing for the rain. Oh, we need that weather here. Walsall's only down the road. It's only about an hour away, so come on. I can see the dark clouds. Mal, how would you paint 15mm British Shermans? No idea, mate. I'm not a painter. Ask a painter. I don't have to use Google. My wife knows everything. Oh. Hey, Mal, been new busy building 28 boards. Had a challenge this weekend of 2 boards in 2 days. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on the terrainiacs, mate. Nice work. Any tips on getting PVA to set quickly? Spread it thin, yeah, and use raw PVA. So Baker Ross. The issue with PVA drying is if you don't spread it thin and you have clumps, what happens is the top surface dries, okay, and it traps the inside sort of wet. So the thinner you apply, as long as you clean up all your blobs, yeah, it will actually dry really quickly. Hey, time's in. Oh, itchy. Oh, in fact, itchy shoulders. Right, no one's talking to me. Everyone's talking amongst themselves. Typical Sunday show then, isn't it? Right, so, yeah, board's looking beautiful. Sorry about, like I say, sorry about being a bit quiet. Tuesday, update will be out on Tuesday and it's going to be a good one. I reckon by the time it's out, it's going to be about an hour long. But I didn't want another sort of like update of me doing half of the board and then me doing another update with me doing the other half of the board. I wanted to say, no, this is a bit about like, right, let's do the, finish off the construction in this update. So I decided, at first it was like, I might be a couple of days late, I might not hit Thursday, I might have to roll on till like Saturday. And we got the heat waves, we had a massive power cut at the studios. took out another day, and you know what I mean. It got rolling. I mean, Saturday night, was it Saturday? No, Friday night. Saturday night, I didn't walk out of there till about 3:30 in the morning. It took me when it was like I can't leave until everything is PVA down because I want to come in on Monday and texture it. Hey, Mike. What's your job actually? This. I work as the terrain tutor, mate. I am employed by the community to share my screw ups. That's the first time I've ever actually answered that as what is your job? What is my job? I'm a YouTuber. Oh, they didn't cover that in the career options at school, did they? Any ideas on doing tyre skid marks? I'd probably airbrush and make with a stencil. How do you fill larger square pillars? My pillar will be 330. That's 3 meters. How do you fill large square pillars? How large? I mean, with no offense, mate, if you're planning on making 3 meter, pillars out of foam board, you want a substructure for those. It's not just a matter of filling them. What sort of gap are we talking? Tutoring. Yeah, Nigel. I'm a tutor. With bodies, fill them with bodies, Rudy. That's brilliant, man. That's absolutely brilliant. Oh. Oh. Spending so much time working with my thumbs over that board, it's taking the toll. I've had a good day today. Kids went away for the weekend, came back, today, and we had a big water fight in the garden. Me and Kez against the kids. Of course we won. Still rods. Depends. Really depends on on how big of a gap between, how wide these pillars are. Out, Nesta? Well, if you lot are just going to chat amongst yourselves, I'll read the book. If you don't want them to tip, make them from foam board. The bottom, fill them with sand and hot glue will keep them upright. It depends. It really depends on what they're supporting, what they're connected to, how big they are. How do you put YouTuber as a career on your CV without potential employers taking the pee? I think the point is, mate, fingers crossed, I'll never have to apply for another job. This will be the job I do well into retirement, if things go well. Otherwise, I have no idea. Interesting week. Illegal wood, sweatshop, and now endorsing murder. Hey, there wasn't any illegal wood. No, that was legal. It was harvested when it was still legal to harvest white maple. Mel, what tabletop game do you play with your kids? With the kids, we mainly play Dungeon Saga. But I'm actually trying to mix it up a bit. You see, the kids are a bit competitive, and Corbin seems to sort of take control when they're playing Dungeon Saga. Okay? And Willow lets him. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to use Dungeon Saga, but in a role-play setting. So using Dungeon Saga as the fight mechanics, yeah, and then the story mode. And then what I'm trying to do is make them tell me what they're going to do, and then see if they can do it by their actions. That's the plan anyway. If they're going to be 25 by 25 millimeters at the base, 25 by 25 millimeters. Good luck with that, bud. Really, good luck with that. Give them a week. Mate, you're going to have to drop some timber in the centre of those. If you want them to be, what you call it, 3 meters high, and you only want them to be 2.5 centimeters wide. Right, you're all coming outside with me for a ciggy. Have iPad, will travel. You lucky git. Then again, I'm on a laptop. The Dungeon Melster. We finished more Jungle Scout to go with my Crystal base set. Trying to make my jungle work multi-genre. Yeah, that's smart working, matey. Ah, foreground like it, Max. Yeah, there's a big debate over, right, does he mean 25 millimeters? By what you call it? By 300. Right, it's not 330 centimeters, it's 330 millimeters. So we're actually talking a foot. Now, you'll be fine with foam board, mate. You won't need to fill them. Or what you could do is run a bit of hot glue down the edges on the inside, you know what I mean, before you actually put the top on. But, you know, if we're only talking not much more than a foot high, you'll be fine. If you're talking 3 meters high, yeah, and only that wide, yeah, you're going to have problems. Hope your Filipino minions. Oh, shut up about the Filipino minions. There might be Filipinos watching, and that's not particularly that's Filipinist. Filipinist? Filipinoist? That's Filipinoist, Ray. What do you call it, Jace? You Filipinoist. Oh, you can stop that as well. I've really been thinking about castles, guys. Really thinking about castles. Nah. Where is it? Nah. No, I didn't. When do you start making terrain and wargaming? Do you know what? I should do a little announcement of the games I play and how I got into it at the start of every show. Oh, when I was a nipper, mate. When I was a young man. Da, 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 da. Well, that's a nice one, isn't it? Do you like that one? Blah, 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 blah. Nah, not in Tinkins. Oh. Liking that one. What's a good way to make chain link or fence for zombie apocalypse terrain? Go and get yourself some meshing. You can get aluminium meshing, car exhaust repair meshing. It's like £1 for like an A4 sheet. Slice it, mount it on a bit of balsa wood or something like that. You know, mount it with balsa wood sort of like uprights, and away you go. But oh, that's a nice one. Nah. Drobnovic, Croatia. No. Caerphilly. Caerphilly is a nice castle. The Tower of London. Castle de Monde. Oh, look at that one. Yeah. That's going to be a lot of foam, isn't it? Yeah. They're taking a bit of time, but we finished soon. When you do the thing on castles, why not include a Brock Tower? What's a Brock Tower? Isn't that one of those like little fortified sort of farmstead things that they used to have in the Highlands? Probably more than that, surely. We're missing, no? Nah, I think I'm going to want something a bit more medieval. Oh, that's an image, isn't it? The Atlantic Wall sinking into the beach. Because of coastal erosion. Nature always wins. Oh, right. Ba, 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 ba. St. Michael's Mount. Build a castle. Remember Forge World did those real castles in epic scale? I do. They had a little bit of a jolly, was it with National Trust or English Heritage, didn't they? To produce a range of real castles in resin. I remember that. What do you think about using actual concrete to make an airplane runway? Well, I've seen people use it for a render, as long as you've got it, you can do it, and you don't mind the weight. Fortified round tower found in Scots Islands, Brock. Ah. English Heritage deal with the castles. Yeah, I thought it was something like that. There's a guy called the History Hunter who gives a YouTube tour of the Atlantic Wall wrecks. Is there really? Durham's water putty. I've heard of it. So, Rudy, so how long until someone says Helm's Deep? Problem with making Helm's Deep is it's licensed. I don't think I can make it without permission. You know what I mean? I can't monetize my videos or that sort of stuff. You know, if I make a castle, I'm going to show you how to do it. Base it on the book. Can you do that? Let's make a sandcastle. Dover Castle. Mal, are you interested in the Fable Realms game? I've seen a lot about it. I don't know if I'll jump on it or get it. I'll get the rules for sure, and I like the background. Yeah. I like the I mean, seems weird not being sure about getting the game when I put so much into the world. But I didn't want to do the Fable Realms map. Yeah, because of the game. I wanted to do it because of the world. You know what I mean? When I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that's a map. Should we call it Melms Deep? Have you been to Stafford Castle, Mel? I have. It's a weird little castle, Stafford is. don't know how I'd handle, you know what I mean? How I'd handle doing, I mean, I could build Helm's Deep. I could easily, well, I'm not going to say I could, ooh, ooh. How big do you reckon that is? Is that 4 foot? I reckon that's 4 foot. 4 foot by what? 1, 2, 2.5. And go down to there. Yeah. Melm's Deep, the proudest of British bootlegs. Mel, have you seen Donna's project? The bloke is building using real material. I haven't, mate. Nice one. Who took my dice? Ice Dragon. Go to the pet shop. Buy some aquarium plants and stuff like that. Plastic plants, man. Catch you later, Sven. Helm's Deep is easy do condo. Due to ongoing poaching terrain shooters are now more the scale. Please support the new captive breeding program by sending flowers, chocolates, alcohol, and hotel reservations. Who are you trying to breed me with, man? What style of castles are you thinking? I'm not sure, to be truthful, mate. Carnarvon's good. Carnarvon is a big, which is a nice castle. I like Beaumaris Castle. What do you call it? Bloody. Can't remember the name of it. Castle in its prime or run down and taken over by vines and plants. Not sure, mate. I envy your British castles. Right, catch you later, Adrian. Build Middenheim or none. Once again, IP. Yeah, okay. The Let's Makes are continuing, mate. It's just I haven't wanted to do other. I've just got lost in doing this map board, man. You know, it's become a real labour of love, love. You know, it's becoming a piece of art, and so I haven't wanted to do any, you know, I didn't want to distract myself or, you know, that's why I've been quiet rather than put other, but as soon as this is done, we'll get back in the flow. We will more Let's Makes. I've got tons more planned, mate, so plenty more coming. You got to remember, this map project is probably, it's a dream build, you know, so I'm just trying to enjoy it. Got the Mighty Fortress. I used to have the Mighty Fortress. She got you hooked after 10 years of being together. It only took you 10 years to go into Star Wars, eh, mate? Dunlusk Castle, not so much the castle as the train around it. Okay. I think it would be covered by fair use if you're not going to sell them. I don't know. See, I never understand fair use. Build some trebuchets. I need a bicky. Actually, I need a brew. I haven't settled on the castles, but I would love to build Helm's Deep. I suppose you'd have to call it, you know, building a fantasy fortress, if we were honest, and say the inspiration was Helm's Deep. You get away with that, wouldn't you? Do a tutorial with on a working catapult. My kids. Hey, Bright. Don't know. I'd like to do Helm's Deep. Well, based on no legal background and no research whatsoever, fair use, kick it in if you change with the IP with your own flair. By making a 3D model of your own. Well, with no legal background or research whatsoever, that seems like a pretty solid answer, dude. You could always get away with inspirational references. Do it. What about the one from Rohan? That's the hall, isn't it? Something hall. Let's be honest. If I'm going to do an epic castle, it's going to have to be Helm's Deep-ish. Be an interesting one to put on eBay, wouldn't it? Oh, oh! Does anyone want to commission Helm's Deep? Do the Colosseum. In general sense, fair use is any copying of copyright material done for a limited and transformative purpose, such as comment upon, criticise. That doesn't really fit terrain, does it? Or a parody of copyrighted work. Such uses can be done without permission of the copyright owner. What scale, Mel? 28mm, I'm reckoning. Just cough every time you say Helms. What about Gondor? Oh, be beautiful, but damn, that's a lot of work. Helm's Shadow. What's the opposite of deep? It's not up, because that's down. It's not high, because that's low. Shallow? Helm's Shallow, Rudy's saying. No, I'll do it in smaller scale. Helm's Peak. Helm's Peak. Raised. Helm's raised. Helm's height. Fanfiction is considered transformative by most legalities, so you should be good on that. Sammy, sorry I'm late. I wasn't allowed indoors until the barbecue was cleaned. The pains of being a man. Do it in 20 or 15. No! Helm's Outhouse. Helm's Reach. Helm's Reach. Moonfang. Love this time on Sunday. Paint, chill, to lift to the soft tone of the terrain tutor. I got bored. Shallot's Shadow. Shallot's Shadow. Right, Tamsin, what's the Shallot's reference? Is that the opposite of a helm? So is a shallot what you put on your feet? Quite curious now. Get GW to commission it. Yeah. Man, they won't even answer my emails. They're going to commission me to do work. I think educational purposes also covers fair use. High, low, deep, shallow. So this would be in line. Sallet, a type of helm. Right. That's the Sabaton. Right, okay. Mel's Deep, with the remarkable similarity. Mel's Deep. Hell's Mel's. Just go with Mel's Keep. Mel's Keep. It's the helmet you'd probably associate with classic Warhammer Empire. Right, got you. Know it. Really think about it. See, the one thing why I say 28mm, yeah, is once it's built, I've got to get rid of it, yeah. And I only know of one sort of Lord of the Rings game, yeah, that's 28mm. Helmet Deep. Calm down, dude. That sounds like I'll be getting extra views on that video. You know what I mean? Hey, Ant. Bleacher actually has a salad. Do you really, dude? Only 12 likes. It's a sort of calm one this week. I think everything. How much are you going to charge for it in 15mm, man? I have no idea, Brian. That's Westside's new product, Helmet Deep. And can you get it to fit into a 64-litre really useful box? I don't know. Then I consider fun. I don't know, to be truthful, yeah. If I'm gonna build something based on Helm's Deep, it's gonna have to be 28mm. Because if I build it 50mm, it's gonna look diddy. It'll be tiny. Well, it ain't gonna be tiny, but it ain't gonna be 28mm, is it? What's left of the show? I just woke up. We're about halfway through. In fact, on that, let me go get a brew, guys. Right, I'll hand you over to Jace for a moment. He can entertain you. Yeah, while I think. I ponder. Oh, you're right, guys. Much for it. Really? Still live. And back from outer space. Hello. Right. The Hornburg. Yes, it was, wasn't it? I think I can hear Corbin. You know your tendency not to be satisfied until it is to your standard. Don't get too fancy with the castle, it'll drag on your will. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So let's talk about those curtains. Well, my curtains? What's wrong with my bloody curtains? You shut up, Oscar. Whoa, no supporters yet? I didn't even check. Yes, we have. Rudy! I show support with a couple of nuggets. Let's get him on the screen. I just haven't. It's just been one of those chilled. I haven't even been in. Jason's probably been fundraising. I haven't even probably noticed. We're never going to get a castle at this rate, are we? Let's get Rudy on. There you go. Rudy! Mal, I don't think you should go for Helm's Deep Hornburg. Not a real castle as such, in my honest opinion. Hey, Gaz. I haven't got biscuits. I walked in without them. Mal, with the tea you drink, you should get. Von Chef instant hot water dispenser kettle. It costs about 50 quid, but our electric bill has dropped about 6 quid a week since we got it. Really? Email me that, Ant. Email me a link. Minas Tirith. City Gondor. Cracking toast grommet. Dros Dennoch from the David Gremmel novels. Castle de Melford. Is that a real castle or is that like a play on my name? Cheers, Ant. Right. Need the castle now. So I'd really love to. Helm's Deep is one of those. It's an iconic, image from. The dross would be great, but all the walls. Right, okay, is it like that? What about an Asian castle? Yeah. Asian castles are quite detailed as well. Especially Indian ones. It has 6 walls and a keep in a valley. What does? Which one is that? Got it, Ant. I think that was that. Right, Dros Dennoch. Let's have a look. Dros Dennoch. Not Google shopping. Yeah. Yeah, I could build that. It'll take me a year or two. We'll skip that one, eh? Dues paid for tonight. You'll get me on Patreon when my fine. No worries, buddy. No worries at all. Let me just check, make sure. Yeah, there's Harry. Let's get Harry on the screen. There we go. Oh, what about Maiden Castle? The biggest Iron Age hill fort in the UK. Right, is it? I always thought the one at Oswestry was. Oswestry Hill Fort was the biggest. Mel's having a moment. Krillia, is that you? That's more than a pint, darling. Let's get you on there. Thank you. Chriso, talking the main castle of the Middle Ages. That's me, yeah. Castle Grayskull. Let's get some images. Do you know, I always wanted a Castle Grayskull when I was a kid because I was well into email. My mum got it me for Christmas. It was a fecking windy house. Do you know what? Castle Grayskull isn't very big, is it? When you see size comparisons, I mean, I know He-Man's supposed to be a big bloke, but standing next to Castle Grayskull, I wouldn't really call it a castle. You don't have that power, Mel. What do you mean? Outhouse Grayskull. Castles aren't that big, mate. Yeah, but I mean, have you seen how big Castle Grayskull is? It's about the size of a semi. It's bigger on the inside. What's Jace pinging? Yeah, Jace, I saw that image. Do one on it. They use it as a concept. I mean, I don't think... You see, if I do Lord of the Rings, my concern is Games Workshop. Okay? Because they hold the IP and you know what their legal department is like. And I don't want to risk my, my sort of channel over an IP issue. Castle Grayskull. I can't see, I can't see me getting Thundercat's Lair. I'm not doing the Thundercat's Lair. Why not use a pestle to press down the board pieces going back to the live stream? Control, mate. I prefer working with my hands, you know what I mean? I remember it being bigger in the comics. Do your own thing now. How about a Mayan pyramid period to go with your Burma jungle? Yeah, I was going to do those anyway. I think, I think we're getting to the stage where it is going to have to be some sort of inspired on the castles of my childhood. Do you know what I mean? Real castles, a bit of fantasy, and just pull things together. I like the idea of doing more of a fantasy, fortress, than an actual historical build, because it's the wow factor. With regards to the techniques I'd be showing, they're pretty much exactly the same. In fact, the fantasy one would more likely have more. Okay, but it's the wow factor of the fantasy one. Count Duckulus. Grayskull's deep. A bit of both. Oh, and you could shut up. Castle Dracula from Bram Stoker's. Oh, way too detailed. I think something like this would be epic, mate. Let's have a look. I know you're here, Jay. I hear you. Actually, Castle Grayskull would be a relatively smaller build. I don't know if they do He-Man in 28mm. Could have a go at building a castle on rocky pillars. Seen some images of Castle Grayskull on that, though. A Legionnaire's fort from North Africa. Thing is, we're going back to contact J.K. Rowling and do a Hogwarts. You could actually. You could have contacted her on Twitter, couldn't you? Are there any good castles in actual castles in Harry Potter? The thing about like Castle Grayskull is instead of a moat, it's a chasm. You see, the actual Harry Potter castle, it's not easy to do. I need to take a trip to Harry Potter World, don't I? Contact the token estate and ask for permission. No harm in asking. Can you do that? I'm super interested in how you do the mountains that Grayskull is sitting on. I haven't really taken a look at the mountains yet. How about cracked shit? I don't even know what that is. So you do the moat on an infinity mirror. If you want something completely different, you should read the R.A. Salvatore Dark Elf trilogy. And so back. Family compounds, which are like small. Really? Okay, let's have a look at that one. Everyone's making suggestions of castles. I'm just throwing them into Google to see what we get. It's a square block. And I appreciate it probably is a castle, but from a modelling point of view, it's a square block of polystyrene with a... King Conan Fortress. Castle of the Gelatinous Cube. So I'm not playing Minecraft anymore. How much lore is in the Fable realms at the moment? Is there anything you can build from its descriptions? There is, but here's the problem. That's all the castles and the locations in the Fable realms are what Foreground are building their terrain sets for. And to be perfectly honest, I don't want to do my own versions of Deldor or something like that. You know what I mean? The Castle Palace from Chronicles of Riddick. That's a good one. Well, it has a roof. It does. Based in underground Dark Elf City. How about Games of Thrones, the Eyrie? Castle from Dark Crystal. See that all these things involve IPs, and that's the killer. Because you can't monetize your ads without permission, and I can't sell it without. I can't make money off it, and it comes down to the simple fact that I have to. I can make it, and I'd love to make it, but I've got to earn money while I do. Otherwise, I can't make it. Castle at the end of Labyrinth. See, the show's just become a list of beautiful castles that we'd all like. And the Labyrinth. Calm down, lad. In full detail. Blarney Stone. Castle on the Cliff's Face. Castle Meldred. I'd pay for that. There must have been a castle in the movie Willow. There probably was, actually. There was a few. You know what you could do? You could go around all the fantasy castles and nick little elements from each. And then make it a bit of an Easter egg hunt. Search for Norway castles. Yeah. I like the Easter egg castle idea. I do actually. And at the end of the day, if it's only taken a little element of something as inspiration, there's no rip off of trademark. Do you know what I mean? You're not making an exact replica. You may have taken an element of it, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's fundamental in art. You know, inspiration. If you nick all the good elements, you will either have an ugly castle or the most epic creation ever. That's it, isn't it? I mean, with Castle Grayskull, it's got to be the entrance, hasn't it? The skull door. Helm's Deep would be the deepening wall element. Melvania. I'm just thinking, could you do that? Could you take elements from various iconic fantasy castles? What? What? Has Mum got food, or do you want out? Okay, calm down. Calm down. I think the dog needed a wee. Just make Castle Helm, Evie Mogul, and Camelot. Is there a particular reason you want to build something that's already been done? It's a weird one. Inspiration and planning wise, you know, that's an element. Doing a fantasy castle, you know, you do attract interest from people who are interested in that genre, that IP, you know. Build the castle out of dog biscuits, it wouldn't survive. No, is that a cheap way of making your own fine turf? Yeah, mate. Get a cheese grater, get some sponges, grate the sponge. Yeah, mix it with paint and PVA. Yes, I did just say grate a kitchen sponge. Just make a pair of butt cheeks and call it Castle Bad Smell. If you were going to do a fantasy castle, do you know what I mean? What would you include in it? Do you know what? No IP covering King Arthur. I don't even know who I'd... How big would it be? It'd be huge, wouldn't it? Castle Terrainiac. Castle what's it? What do you call it? How do you make small trees? Check the foliage playlist, mate. Flamethrowers on all the castles. Because every castle needs a flamethrower, dude. Castle watching a Camelot it. Do you know what I think? I've been thinking about castles, and we're having this conversation about castles, and that, you know, my remember a while ago we talked about, you know, me building my dream castle build. It just popped back into my head. Floating castle. Chase, we got the name. Watch him a Camelot it. Watch him a Camelot it. Castle, watch him a Camelot it. A fancy castle from Atlantis. Fancy castle from... Hello, dog. Oh, Kez, can I have a riffle, please?
Huh?
One of the riffles. The chocolate.
Huh?
Can I have a riffle, please?
Huh?
The pack of ripples that's in the mud.
There's none in there.
Yeah, well, there was. What you call it an hour ago? Don't look at me like that. There's 4 in the packet. You can spare one.
You want to play ribbons instead?
No, I want a ripple. Careful.
Remember. Oh, hang on.
Really?
You can sod off.
If he jumps up and eats my ripple, you'll have lost another one.
Go lie down. Go and ask your dad.
Do you see what she was aiming for then? No, your mum's got one. Go ask your mum. This is a ripple. Are you looking at Disney? Do you know what? We've been talking castles. And I don't think I can make any of the high fantasy castles because of the legal issues. You know, nothing we can do about it. Wait, are you giving the dog chocolate treats? No, man, no. I mean, the dog will have dog chocolate and biscuits and stuff like that, but he doesn't have human chocolate. His favourite realm's gritty. Yeah, it is gritty, mate. Oh, that's just dripping, Jace. Castle Kesman, a mashing together of odd and strange elements that come together beautifully in the end and create a solid foundation to build upon. Oh. Sounds like something you find inside like a romantic greeting card. Loads to build, of bits to include. GW tried and you can't copyright at all. What do you mean, red green? Doesn't stop the dog looking at the chocolate though, with longing eyes. No. You want to sell it when done? Maybe a display board type castle for showing off minis, or do you want one meant for gameplay? I have no idea. Need to take a shower after that one. Lots of hearts. Okay. Catch you later, Will. No, I think I think what we may have to do is explore a long project. We could do that. We could definitely do that. Jay's narrative. No, I don't know. I don't even think we'd be able to sell it afterwards. It'd be a big ass build. Really big. I know, why not reach out to Chris Perkins and get them to commission you to make one of the one at Ink live shows at Pat's? Right, Jace, none of that means anything to me. I don't know the name, I don't know the ink, and I don't know the packs. Sulfurian, check the water playlist, mate. Water tutorials and pond tutorials are in there. How long a project is long? Could be 6 months. The thing is, it depends, yeah? Depends on Patreon and all that sort of stuff, and how many videos I need to produce and what I need to do to basically support my family. Yes, whilst, you know, going on an epic jolly, spending a ridiculous amount of time making a model that I may not be able to sell. I've done this before, you know, I've built big stuff that I simply haven't been able to sell because it's, you know, to get a decent amount for it, you know, people, if they haven't commissioned it, just don't pay out large amounts. Also, would GW really hold the copyright? Depends if it's 28mm and gaming. You know, I don't know how the license works for that. I'm not doing a dark castle. What's a dark castle? Astro Miller, no. I hear you, Jace. Paul, don't worry. Dude, right, can we just clarify a point? When have I ever built any terrain that I haven't shown you what I've done? Ever. Ever. I don't do that. The whole point of me building the terrain is so I can show you how to build it. Search Roman castle on a hill. Go on then, we'll search Roman castle on a hill. See what comes up. That's quite cool. You're right. First image is pretty cool, dude. Some beautiful castles in the world, isn't there? Zombie build, we had to wait, sub. Yeah. What about before the channel? Oh, come on. More gothic themed. Saruman's Tower. Turf War Z. Okay, moving on. Yeah, and I said I was never going to do that again. And I've stuck with it. What about a bouncy castle? Oh. Do you know what? I think when the conversation gets to the stage of castle suggestions being bouncy castles, I think it's time we need to call it a night. What are we on? 25 past. An easy answer would be have a mooch through DeviantArt, find one you like, contact the artist and say, do you mind me building this? I've got a different idea. I suppose, worst comes to worst, could always raffle it off, couldn't we? An abandoned gas station? Not really a castle, dude. Right, guys, I think I'm going to call this. Yeah, Castle Numbskull. That's about right for me. I think I'm going to call this. Right, I have got a long day in the studio tomorrow. We'll be texturing the board up. If you haven't seen the pic, yeah, nip over to the terrainiacs group. I'd like to big shout out for this show's supporters, Rudy, Odin, and Krillia. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Yeah. I think when it comes to castles, Mel's just going to build what is in Mel's eye, which will either turn out to be awesomely beautiful or an utter failure. Quite possibly. Yeah. But in the meantime, we've got a world to build. Now, battle plan is, yeah, I'll be doing the texturing tomorrow. I'll be finish off filming the update, yeah. Tomorrow night I'll be editing it up, uploading it. It will be on the channel on Tuesday. Yeah, worst case scenario is Wednesday, but I can't. The way I'm looking at it, it should be Tuesday with no worries whatsoever. But you know what my life is like. Yeah. After that, I'll be painting it, and we'll probably get another update on that. What you call it, the week after. If I can drop in a product review, I'm just finishing one off at the moment. If I can drop that in on Thursday for you, I'll do my best. But it should be built tomorrow, painted over the next week, okay, and then finished off the week after. So we're on the final countdown, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Oh, live show Thursday night. Yeah, we will be live again. Jace, as always, mate, if you want to come down, you're very welcome, dude. Right. Laters, people. You have a good one, yeah? All the best. Ta-da. I'm going to switch this off.